she will come, I will take him and we will do offering.
Okay. So make it as big as you can.
What?
Make it as big as you can.
Biggest?
So many things.
Okay.
Just keep putting things on. Sweets, fruit, nuts, everything. Inside, on my shelf, there's inside of the refrigerator, these big fruit balls, about like this. Plus there is these apricots, Indian apricots. Offer that too. They're boga. You'll see there's a container with two in there, and in the same container is the apricots.
Okay.
Otherwise, if it's not like that, the other ones are offered in a different container. Make sure you don't take the offered ones.
And not offered is
One small container,
small
two balls in there,
and
some.
apricot.
That's all there is in there.
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. Somya. I only want one thing for breakfast. In the refrigerator, there's a jar of milk.
Yes, I
Yeah.
see. I warm now.
Make it boiling hot. I can't drink it unless it's boiling.
Boil. Yeah, I boiled now and then we'll
Boil
heat.
it again.
Yeah, heat.
So right after class.
After class.
Good. Perfect. Okay. Hare Krishna. So, preparing our consciousness for the appearance of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which according to Gaudiya Vaishnava tradition is the most essential and important day of our year to honor Krishna in the form of his manifestation as Gauranga. And so this is a beautiful bhajan. We've been singing it for the last 2 days at the beginning of class. So again, we'll open up the class with this bhajan. It's quite nice. It's very sweet, actually. I feel like I'm in a hospital with all this stuff here. Can you remove this thing? Yeah. See if you can get some money for it. You can sell it for, €2. Okay, yesterday we asked for a volunteer, so we'll do again today. Anyone would like to read the translation in English? Any volunteers? No volunteers. Who we got? Robert? Okay. Okay, good. If you don't volunteer, then we draft you. Here's the, oh, you can read it from there? Okay,
Yeah.
good.
His complexion is the hue of fresh cream tinged with kumkum. He is the ever-fresh Cupid who shoot arrows of newly blossoming flowers. He bears newer and newer moods of emotional ease. He is fond of performing novel dances. He makes ever new jokes that cause much laughter. His brilliant luster is like freshly cast gold. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. He is endowed with the ever-fresh love of Godhead. His radiant luster is like the color of fresh butter. His fresh attire is arranged in ever new fashions. He relishes ever new mellow of love for Krishna. He shines in ninefold new ways while executing the ninefold processes of devotion. He is permanented with a most auspicious loving nature. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. He is absorbed in devotion to Sri Hari. He maintains the chanting of the names of Hari. While chanting, he counts the holy names on the fingers of his hands. He is addicted to the name of Hari. He always has tears of love welling in his eyes. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. He's always removing the suffering of material existence for mankind. He's the goal of life for persons who are dedicated to their supreme interest. He inspires man to become like honeybees, eager for the honey of Krishna Prem. He removes the burning fever of the material world. I bow down to Gaura, beautiful son of Mother Sachi. He motivates pure devotion unto himself. He is most attractive to his beloved servitors. By his dramatic dancing, he exhibits the characteristics of the king of paramours. He causes the mind of beautiful young village women to dance. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. He plays kartals as his throat emits sweet melodious sound, and the vibrant notes of veena are softly played. He thus inspires the devotees to perform dramatic dance that is infused with aspects of his own devotional service. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. He is accompanied by the Sankirtan movement, which is the religious practice for the age of Kali. He is the son of Nanda Maharaj come again. He is the extraordinarily brilliant ornament of the earth. His preaching mood is suitably adapted to the cycle of birth and death. His consciousness is fixed in meditation on his own form of Krishna. He is always accompanied by his transcendental abode. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Sachi. His eyes, the soles of his feet in his clothing, are reddish like the color that heralds the rising sun. As he utters his own names, his voice falters. He awakens a sweet flavor to life throughout the universe. I bow down to Gaura, the beautiful son of Mother Sachi.
Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki jai. Sri Sachi Sutta ki jai. Thank you. You can see, if you read these different statements, some of the qualities, characteristics, and activities of the Lord. He has many, these are just a few. And they charm the heart of the devotees, and they inspire devotees to become, as it says, honeybees for the nectar of Krishna Prema. Okay, Om Gyan? No. Yeah, Om Gyan Timirandasya Gena Jana Salakaya Chaksun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pestaya Bhutale Shrimakti Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Name Namaste Saraswati Deve Gaura-lila Pacharine Nirvisesa Sunyavari Pastyatya De Satarine Vancha Kalpa Turubhischa Kiva Sindhu Pevacha Patitanam Bhavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namaho Namaha Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we've been trying to get a few drops of the ocean of the unlimited nectar of the activities, qualities, pastimes, names, and about his followers. We say Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda. Gaur Bhaktivinoda means the followers of Lord Chaitanya. And his followers are practically on the same level as he is. They're all great personalities who have come from the spiritual world along with the Lord to enact the pastimes of purifying the conditioned souls through the Sankirtan movement. Many of these personalities are eternal associates of the Lord in the spiritual world. Some come by way of the association of these same personalities, and they also appear in the material world and become great followers. The Lord wanted to infuse different qualities for us to understand in our practice of Krishna consciousness. So in order to do that, he empowered certain of his followers to have a certain outstanding quality. They were all, many of them are all pure devotees, great devotees, eternal associates, nitya siddhas. But he wanted to teach through them certain qualities that were, what we say, necessary for our own practice of Krishna consciousness. And he emphasized these qualities in each of these persons. For instance, in order to teach the process of chanting the holy names, he empowered Haridas Thakur. Srila Haridas Thakur is known as Namacharya. Srila Haridas Thakur. And he was a personality who appeared before Lord Chaitanya came. Him, Advaitacharya, and a few others actually preceded the Lord in their pastimes on earth. And Srila Haridas Thakur was actually a very great personality. He was Lord Brahma, come again, but he was also fused with the mood of Prahlad Maharaj. In other words, his nature was very compassionate. Prahlad Maharaj is known as the manifestation of the Lord's compassion towards the conditioned souls. Because, how is that? Because when Lord Nrsingadev asked him to take a benediction, he refused to take any material benediction. But the Lord was encouraging him, take some benediction. Finally, Prahlad said, if you want to give me some, allow me to stay in this material world and become your instrument for spreading your mercy to the conditioned souls. So he was qualified to go back home, back to Godhead, but he wanted to serve the Lord by serving the conditioned souls by giving them Krishna consciousness. So he's known as the personification of compassion. Gave up his own, we might say, eternal life in the spiritual world just to stay here to try to help us who are struggling in this material world. So that element of Prahlad Maharaj entered into the Srila Haridas Thakur. And we also see how he was very compassionate towards others in his practice of Krishna consciousness. He would chant 333,333 names of God every day. And if you calculate that, that's 192 rounds. We have a hard time chanting 16 rounds. 192 rounds every day, and he also had time for preaching. He would go out and distribute the holy names to the conditioned souls and inspiring them in devotional service by teaching them and inspiring them to chant the Hare Krišna Mahamantra. He was compassion personified. We can speak about Srila Haridas, we can turn it into a whole class, but I just wanted to mention how Lord empowered certain personalities to do his work in the world by giving them his mercy to spread to other conditioned souls. For Sanatana Goswami, he was the personification of humility. We were hearing last night, we were discussing that most important verse in Lord Chaitanya's Shikshastika, Trinada Pi Sanichena Tayoriva Sahishnuna Amanina Manadena Kirtaniya Sada Hari. So in that verse, the first thing is mentioned is humility. And humility is such a quality that it is bhakti itself. There's no other quality that is given the same importance as humility. Humility actually attracts the attention of the Lord. And we tried, last night we were trying to explain some of the qualities or the ways to identify humility, what it looks like, how humility actually manifests itself in relationship to God, in relationship to other Vaishnavas, in relationship to our execution of bhakti. Sanatana Goswami was a personification of humility. For example, Lord Chaitanya, after he left Navadvip, Jai Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ki Jai, Sri Panchatattva ki Jai. He took initiation from Keshava Bharti, and then he traveled after that, after taking sannyas, he traveled to Jagannath Puri. And we know he spent 18 years in Jagannath Puri and 6 years traveling outside of Jagannath Puri, just going through the entire subcontinent of India, spreading the holy name. So he was staying at Jagannath Puri, and he had his place there in the Gambhira. And Sanatana Goswami wanted to go see the Lord. But in order to go see the Lord, he had to pass by the Jagannath temple. Now, Sanatana Goswami was thinking, every day the priests, they come in and out of the temple doing their seva for Lord Jagannath. And I'm so fallen, I'm so wretched, I'm so, unseeable, that if I pass by them, it'll be a disturbance to them. So let me take another route to go see Lord Chaitanya. So the only other route he could was to go across the beach. And this was in the month of Jaist. Jaist is July. So the sand is burning hot. The sand is like fire. So he walked across that burning hot sand, and he came to Lord Chaitanya in the Gambhira. And when he offered his respects, Lord Chaitanya said to him, "Your feet are all full of blisters, they're burnt." He didn't say anything. "How did you come here?" "Well, I came by way of the beach." "Why didn't you go past the Jagannath temple like everyone else comes?" And then, of course, in his natural humility, he just remained quiet. And the Lord could understand his mind. So he accepted this suffering just to not, from his perspective, not to disturb the pujaris who were worshipping Lord Jagannath. So this was an example of his natural humility. Of course, there's many other examples how he showed humility. And that was Sanatana Goswami. He was employed by the Muslim governor at the time, and left that employment to go and read Srimad Bhagavatam. But he said to his persons who he's working with that I'm sick, I need to take a break for a little while to get my health back. But you might say, he lied. But if you're lying to go read Bhagavatam, that's not lying. So in order not to cause turmoil in the government, he said, I'll be back. But he stayed away for a month, just studying Bhagavatam. He's known, there are many prayers that he has actually written about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. Sanatana Goswami is very much connected with the glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. And when the governor came to see him, he realized he wasn't sick. And he said to him, I'm going to do some traveling. I'm going to conquer some other areas. I need you to manage to stay. So come back and manage. He said, well, how he said it in a very polite way that he wasn't coming. Can't remember the exact statement, but this is what he indicated, he wasn't coming back. And the governor got really mad and put him in jail. And he was in chains, because when they put them in jail, these jails are not like the jails today. You can get out of them easy. So they put you in chains in these little places they call jails. And so he was locked up. And then, of course, he escaped by his own trickery. He bribed the jailer with some gold coins, and he got out. And then he went to travel to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, along with his one assistant known as Ishan. And he was able to get 10,000 gold coins from Rupa Goswami, who had retired from government service, and took whatever he had earned, and he saved a percentage of that to keep for emergency. So the emergency was to get Sanatana Goswami out of jail, and he sent the money, and the money came, and Sanatana used it to bribe the jailer and get out of jail. And then he had 8 gold coins left, and he was traveling with Ishan. And when he was traveling, he came to one hotel, and he needed some place to stay overnight. So the hotel owner said, yeah, you can stay. But the hotel owner was actually a dacoit. He would trace, or he would have his men out there seeing who's coming through his area. And if he found out that they had some wealth, he would kill them and take up the money. So by astrology, he found out that Sanatana Goswami had 8 gold coins. So Sanatana understood that this jailer, he's going to do something to get these gold coins. So the next day, he came and he gave the gold coins to the hotel keeper. He said, "Oh, I was going to do something to you to get the coins, but you're giving to me. Oh, yes. So he took the gold coins, but Sanatan servant Ishan kept one gold coin. He didn't tell anybody. And then they were traveling through difficult areas, and they didn't have any money, but then Ishan said, well, I have one gold coin. He said, oh, that's not good. This is dangerous. So he said, you keep that gold coin and you go. I'm traveling alone. And he came to see Lord Chaitanya. And that time he had traveled through the woods, and he was kind of ragged, and he wasn't shaving. He was called a Deravesh, hippie. Prabhupada said, ancient hippie. Long hair and beard and like that, kind of scraggly. And so he came, and he sat outside of Lord Chaitanya's door, and Lord Chaitanya was inside, and he said to his servant, I think there's somebody sitting outside the door, go see. So the servant went out, and he saw this person sitting. He came back, and he said, he's just some mendicant sitting out. He said, what do you mean mendicant? That's Sanatan Goswami. Tell him to come in. So he came in, fell at the feet of the Lord, and he offered beautiful prayers. The Lord was happy to see him, but then he said, you know, this is the Hare Krišna movement, you got to shave up. Not exactly, but that was the principle. This is not everyone's favorite topic, I know. And so he did. And when he was traveling, actually, he met his cousin, and his cousin gave him a very, what we say, beautiful blanket. And Lord Chaitanya kept looking at the blanket. And Sanatan was thinking, he keeps looking at my blanket. I think he doesn't want me to have this blanket. So then he understood in the mind of the Lord, and he left, and he met one mendicant sitting on the side of a road who had a torn cloth. It was kind of like a shawl. He said, my dear sir, I want to ask you a favor. Can you trade your cloth for my blanket? And the man was insulted. He said, why are you joking with me? This is a beautiful blanket you're having, and you want to trade for this piece of raggedy cloth? He said, no, my spiritual master is not happy. He wants me to be the way he wants me to be. So they traded, and then he came back. And then when Lord Chaitanya saw that, he said, your last attachment to the material world is gone. He was pleased with that, So, and then of course, Lord Chaitanya gave him many services to do after that, to excavate holy places and to write books, which he did. So he was humility personified. He exemplified this mood of humility. There was another very intimate associate of the Lord who didn't have a lot of association with the Lord, and that was Ramananda Roy. In the Madhya-lila, there's a nice discussion between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Roy about what is the ultimate principle of bhakti. And then Prabhupada wrote a whole book on that. In 1940s, before Prabhupada came, he actually wrote one book describing this discussion between Lord Chaitanya and Ramananda Roy. And of course, it's mentioned in a smaller form in Srimad Chaitanya Charitamrita, like that. And so Ramananda Roy, although he was a Kayasta, he was a Sudra, still he was a very, very great devotee. When Lord Chaitanya first met him, the Lord actually could understand that this person is a pure soul. Actually, he is the incarnation of Vishaka Devi, the intimate associate of Srimati Radharani in the spiritual world. many of Lord Chaitanya's associates who were in the spiritual world with Krishna, many of them were gopis, but they took male forms to come and assist Lord Chaitanya in his pastimes. Because we know that Lord Chaitanya is in the mood of Srimati Radharani, and therefore many of his associates are gopis, actually. Sarup Damodar was Lalita, Gadadhar was Radharani. So some people say, well, Lord Chaitanya was also in the mood of Radharani. Why another Radharani? Anybody know the answer to that? It's an interesting answer. Why two Radharanis in one place? The reason was Gadadhar, who is actually Radharani, wanted to check and make sure that Lord Chaitanya was playing the role of Radharani right. She was monitoring him, making sure, you have to be like, So yeah, that's interesting. But this Ramananda Roy, he had this service of massaging the bodies of these young girls to prepare them to dance for Lord Jagannath. They were called Devi Dasis. They perform wonderful dances. And they're young, they're beautiful, and they have all good qualities. And they're expert dancers. So his service was to massage their bodies. Now, it's explained that his mind was like stone. He was touching the bodies of these young girls. He wasn't in the slightest bit disturbed by that. He was simply absorbed in his service. So Lord Chaitanya taught this one principle. Of course, not in the way that we should try to imitate it, but he taught the principle of dhira. The one becomes undisturbed by situations that can become disturbing. Things that could bring distress or things that bring happiness are both forms of disturbances in the execution of devotional service. Things that bring happiness can divert our attention away from, just like, say you're a son of a wealthy person, and a wealthy person leaves the body and bequeaths all the money to you. Now you're a millionaire, but before you were Hare Krišna, sitting in the temple, eating khichdi and sleeping on the floor. Now you have €1 million. So then what are you going to do? You're going to give up your Krishna consciousness, or so you can enjoy that? We have one devotee in our movement. His father was a lawyer and a millionaire. And his father offered him $1 million if he would give up Krishna consciousness and become a nice karmi. And he refused. Then he joined the temple. And then many years later, he was serving Srila Prabhupada in Mumbai when they were building the Radha Rasa Bihari temple. And his father and mother came. And they were both concerned about their son. So the mother said, "Oh, he looks so skinny. He's not eating right." Because, when we first joined the movement, I don't know, devotees were never so fat as they are now. I used to eat a lot of prasada, but I was always skinny. I don't know what happened. Now I eat a little bit of prasadam and I'm getting fat. Something's wrong. It doesn't make sense, but anyway. You see some of the pictures of me in my old days, I was really skinny. I mean, if you turned sideways, you couldn't see me, I was really skinny, but I used to eat a lot. I mean, dal, rice, chapati, sabji, sweet. Sunday feast was like, this is it. on Monday we start praying for Sunday to come back. It was like that Sunday feast because we didn't really have anything except the Sunday feast to enjoy. We were living very simply, but anyway, yeah. So this idea of being attracted away from, and then this devotee's father. It was actually what's his name? That sannyasi, Gaura-lila Swami Maharaj. Yeah. His father offered Prabhupada, "I'll give you $1 million. Tell my son to come back." Prabhupada looked at Giriraj. "What do you want to do?" Giriraj said, "I'm not going." So twice his father offered him $1 million. You know, that was back in the 70s. 5 times. Money is worth 5 times as much as it is in those days. So that's like about $5 million today. Yeah. So yeah. So getting diverted by some material source of success or happiness, devotee is fixed on Krishna conscious. So he taught that through Ramananda Roy, that he was not disturbed in happiness and distress. It's one of the qualities that is essential for the execution of devotional service. Without having that quality, it'll become very, very difficult to make progress in devotional service. There's always opportunities to get disturbed, either by too much material goodies or too much of the negativity that comes by way of living in this world. So what are the Nishta? Nishta means fixed. Yeah, happiness comes, distress comes. They'll come like the winter and the summer season. But devotees, Krishna is beyond all of that. Krishna is the greatest prize. What am I'm not disturbed because something's going wrong. Something goes wrong. All right, so I'll fix it or I'll tolerate it and go on with my devotional service. Something goes right, no, I'll accept it and use it for Krishna service. And so, like that. So that's a devotee. So he taught that. And then one other quality he taught was, this is an interesting quality. This one devotee, his name was Damodar Pandit. Damodar Pandit was so, I guess the word is, expert at knowing all of the rules and regulations for the execution of devotional service, including the behavior needed in each of the ashrams. And he would instruct Lord Chaitanya when Lord Chaitanya was outside of the proper behavior. So he would instruct Lord Chaitanya. Because Lord Chaitanya, there was one little boy who really liked Lord Chaitanya. And his mother was very beautiful, and his mother was a widow also. So Lord Chaitanya showed affection to that boy because the boy really showed affection for Lord Chaitanya, and the Lord reciprocated. Damodar Pandit got angry at Lord and sent the boy away and told him never to come back again. Because the connection between the boy is the mother also. And Lord Chaitanya being in the sannyas ashram, he didn't want that connection to be there, or that association to be there, so he did that. And Lord Chaitanya tolerated it, but one time he sent him away, because after it became a little too much. But he was teaching how one should be very, let me say, strict in the executing of one's devotional service by following those principles that are favorable and by avoiding those principles or activities that are unfavorable. It's called sankalpa vikalpa, means to accept and to reject. Yeah. So that's, and that was also written about by Sanatana Goswami. devotional service means to know what's favorable and to know what's unfavorable and act accordingly. And that way one will make progress. I find my own experience with devotees know what's favorable, but they don't know what's unfavorable. And sometimes they fall in doing the wrong things or acting in the wrong way, and it slows down their progress in spiritual life, or sometimes it even causes it to stop. So one should also hear regularly about, and that science is completely given in Nectar of Devotion, what's favorable and what's unfavorable. One chapter is the 64 items of execution of devotional service, things to adopt, things to avoid, like that. And when you know that, then it's easy, then bhakti becomes more, what we say, free from difficulties. Like that. Yeah. So he taught these things also. And in Kirtan, he empowered Narottam Das Thakur to teach Kirtan. Although Narottam Das Thakur came after Lord Chaitanya, but the Lord was always speaking about this person who will soon appear, and he would call out his name, Narottam, Narottam, Narottam. One time Nityananda asked him, "You're always talking about this Narottam. We don't know who this Narottam is." And the Lord said, one day, very soon, a great personality will appear in this world, and he knows my heart. My heart is Kirtan. My heart is Kirtan. And he will revolutionize Kirtan in such a way that it will become, what we say, take it to another level of Kirtan. So, and of course, Narottam, those who follow Narottam Das Thakur's Kirtan style are the Manipuris. You're familiar with the Manipuris, how they sing and dance also? That was taught by Narottam. And that was also used by the devotees after Lord Chaitanya. And there was a certain types of melodies that Narottam had created that were actually so pleasing to Lord Chaitanya that he revolutionized the whole process of Kirtan. Because Kirtan is just, it's the life of bhakti. Keeps devotees happy. It keeps the devotees engaged nicely. And it attracts the attention, especially of Lord Chaitanya. You want to please Lord Chaitanya? Do Kirtan. I don't think I have to make any emphasis on that in this place, because this is a Kirtan place. But continue and think about how to bring more and more Kirtan. Because if you do Kirtan every day, Prabhupada writes in one particular purport in Madhya-lila, Chaitanya Charitamrita, he says that in each one of our temples we should have 3 hours of Kirtan every evening. Haribol? 3 hours of Kirtan every evening. Yeah, it's written. He put it in the Shastras. When Prabhupada puts something in his books, it's not like maybe or perhaps you do it. He said, my books are the foundation, the law books for the next 10,000 years. If you want to know me, read my books. He didn't say my lectures, my room conversations, my morning walks. These are important. They're also knowledge. But what really establishes Prabhupada's teachings is solidly given in his books. Yeah. And when he puts something in his books, he wants that to be the standard by which we follow. Yeah. So when it came to Kirtan, he said 3 hours every night. And throughout the day, of course he didn't put it in his books, but he said it, you have classes all day on different subject matters. After the morning program, you have class after class after class after class to the evening, and then you have Kirtan. And you'll see this temple will fill up with so many, and you'll get all the work done. You don't have to manage anything. it becomes easy. Because kirtan attracts Lord Chaitanya, and when Lord Chaitanya is pleased, he sends so many people to come. Like way of, you see when we have our kirtan melas, the temple fills up. Last night it was so full, people couldn't even find places to sit down. It was so full. So kirtan is our life, and it's just the life of our preaching also, to do kirtan. But we shouldn't just relegate it to festivals. We should have kirtan all the time. Every day, every night, have kirtan like that. Prabhupada said 3 hours, but you could adjust according to what you can do here. But at least from 2 to 3 hours every night. And you'll see, kirtan attracts people. It's automatic. And then, of course, he inspired Lord Nityananda. When Lord Nityananda was with Lord Chaitanya in Jagannath Puri, Lord Chaitanya told Lord Nityananda, you stay in Navadvip, and I'm going to be here in Jagannath Puri, and you preach in Navadvip. I'm preaching here. But Lord Nityananda couldn't tolerate being separate from Lord Chaitanya. So one day he came along with the devotees during the Rath Yatra ceremony to see Lord Chaitanya. And Lord Chaitanya was happy, and they had a nice conversation. But then he told Lord Nityananda, you go back and do kirtan in Navadvip and inspire there. So Lord Nityananda, he took the instructions on his head. He gathered his followers, which were cowherd boys. He's a Gopal. He's a cowherd boy. He's Balaram. Brajendra Nandana Ye Sutta Hoilo Se. Balaram Hoilo Nitai. Balam Nityananda is Balaram come again. And so he took his followers, and they started to do kirtan and leave Jagannath Puri going back to Navadvip. It's a long way. But while they were going, they were chanting and dancing and dancing and chanting and chanting and dancing and dancing and dancing and chanting and chanting and chanting and dancing and more chanting and dancing and dancing. And they got lost. They didn't know where they were going. They got lost. And then they were thinking, where are we? Which way to Navadvip? And then they asked someone, and they said, oh, hi, 6 miles, go that way, you'll find the road, then go that way. No, so all right, so they changed directions, continued to chant and dance, chant and dance, dance and dance, and more dancing and chanting and chanting and dancing and dancing and dancing and chanting and chanting and chanting and chanting and dancing and dancing and chanting and chanting and dancing and dancing and chanting and dancing. And so, they got lost again. I think, where are we? And then they asked again, they said, hi, 20 miles that way you'll find the Ganga. Go to the Ganga and follow the Ganga. It leads to Navadvip. Okay, so they went. And so they were chanting and dancing and dancing and chanting and chanting and dancing and dancing and chanting and chanting and dancing and dancing and chanting and dancing and dancing and chanting and dancing. It was equal. So finally they came into the area of Navadvip when they came to the house of Raghava Pandit. Raghava Pandit came and he greeted Lord Lord Nityananda, along with his associates. And he gave Lord Nityananda a garland. Lord Nityananda said, I want a garland of Kadamba flowers. Have you ever seen a Kadamba flower? How many of you have seen Kadamba flowers? They're so beautiful. I mean, when you see it, they just attract your attention. They're little yellow or orange balls. They're completely round. They don't look like a flower. They look like a flower ball. And they're just so, right? They're so beautiful. So Nityananda, but Raghava Pandit said, Nitai, this is not the season for Kadamba flowers. And then Lord Nityananda said, just go in your backyard and look, see if you can find some. So he went in his backyard, and on the lemon tree, he found Kadamba flowers. Lord Nityananda, he picked hours, and he was shocked, on my lemon tree. This is Lord Nityananda's mystic power. So he brought the garland. Lord Nityananda was happy. And then the devotees started to, in the air there was this fragrance of Damanaka flowers. The Damanaka flowers only grow in the area of Jagannath Puri. So everyone understood Lord Chaitanya must be here, because he would always wear a garland of Damanaka flowers. And so it is said wherever Lord Chaitanya is doing kirtan, Lord Chaitanya is personally present. So, but no one could see him except 2 or 3 devotees and Lord Nityananda. He was there in his unmanifested form just to be with the devotees in the kirtan. And they continued to chant and dance for 3 months. 3 months. They never stopped. They didn't take a break. No water, no food. You can do that. If you get high on the holy name, hey, you forget about everything else. It's possible. Devotees also do that. Sometimes, we get so much kirtan and it's already 2 in the morning and Ojaswi is still singing kirtan. 2 in the morning. Devotees are thinking, there is tomorrow, but this is nice. So they stay into the kirtan so we can get intoxicated. So the kirtan was so powerful that devotees were running up the side of the tree and onto the branches and dancing on the ends of the branches, and the branches were holding them. Some of them were diving off. I am Angada, the monkey soldier. Choom, and they would dive off like that, and they would imitate different personalities and different leelas. It was mad. And then sometimes the devotees would pick up trees and dance with the trees. Small trees, not big ones. And then some of the people in the villages in the area started to understand what was happening. So many of the children came, and they actually joined the kirtan, and they started to chant and dance. And they danced for 1 month. Kids. And they were picking up trees too. Can you imagine Lord Nityananda's kirtan? It's not possible. He takes you right into the spiritual world with his kirtan. Sometimes we get so happy in Krishna conscious kirtan that we just think, now I got it. This is it. So kirtan is there. It just awakens, that our attraction for Krishna and gives ultimate pleasure. That's kirtan. And of course, after some time, the kirtan stopped after 3 months, and then they went on to Navadvip. That's a whole other series of stories. That's all about Lord Nityananda's preaching in Navadvip. So some of the ways the Lord empowered many of his followers to exemplify or to illustrate a particular quality that the Lord wanted to use to spread Krishna consciousness like that. So he did that with many personalities also, not just the ones I mentioned. Okay, so today's a fast day? I was just checking. Philosophy is nice, but prasadam is also nice. You might even say it's philosophy in realization of the philosophy. Take prasad. Okay, thank you very much. And tomorrow is the appearance day of the Lord, so please come. And if you celebrate this day and honor Lord Chaitanya by engaging in the activities of devotional service, you get special mercy. Special mercy is available, particularly in tomorrow's day. Special mercy means you get free from a lot of your material attachments and miseries, and you start to go deeper into your understanding of Krishna consciousness. Thank you very much. Or should we stop here, or should we ask questions? Is there any one question? Any one question? Anyone? No questions? Yes. Question all the way in the end there. Okay.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, thank you so much for the lecture. My question would be about Sanatana Goswami being so renounced. I want to ask if it's possible, and if so, how to be so renounced financially in this day and age.
Well, it's not a matter of giving up anything. It's a matter of using what you have for the service of the Lord. The principle is, we take what we need to live, and then whatever extra we have, or we should also make arrangements to offer something to the preaching of Krishna consciousness, to the spreading of devotional service to others. But it's not that you have to live poorly. That's not the idea. You live according to your needs. That's the Ishavasham idam sarvam, means Yat kinchatyam jagatena jaktena bundijaha magurahaka siswadanam. Everything is owned and controlled by the Supreme Lord. Everything animate and inanimate. And one should live according to their quota. So this is the principle of Sri Ishopanishads, that we live according to our needs. And you don't have to go below your needs. So if you're a family person, you have needs to maintain the family, like that. For brahmacharis, their only need is prashadam, right? They don't have any money. Right, Mukunda? You're broke.
No comment. Sometimes
If you want to be wealthy, take sannyas. Prabhupada said that. He told the grihastas, if you need money, go to the sannyasis. They got all the money. But the sannyasis, they use it in the proper way, although they have a lot. So, live according to your needs. This is the principle. And then if you have anything extra, then use it for devotional life. Or give in charity, like that.
A follow-up, please. If we save for the future, for retirement, does that mean that we are not surrendered?
No. Rupa Goswami gave the formula. You take the total sum of your earnings, you divide it in half, 50% for Krishna consciousness, 25% for personal needs, and 25% for savings. Savings are from emergency. That's how Sanatana Goswami got out of jail. Rupa Goswami had saved 25%, and he sent that to help Sanatana get out of jail. So we keep money for emergencies.
No, I didn't mean emergency. I meant, like, for example, we want to, I don't know, retire from jobs earlier, and then maybe dedicate our lives more to attending the temple and serving. So I meant that. Does that mean that we are not surrendered?
For grihastas, those who live in family life, that's fine. But not big amounts, Just, something there to fall back on the future, that's fine. But not for brahmacharis, not for sannyasis. They have to be completely dependent on the Lord for whatever they need. But grihastas are allowed to save. They're also allowed to earn. They're also allowed to save.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm. But not too much. And Any other? Okay, so I think we should stop. We have another question? Somebody? Oh, announcement.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj, for a wonderful class. So today is we will try to offer to Lord Chaitanya 24-hour kirtan.
24 hours?
Yeah, we start 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
5 p.m. and then the evening program is a part of kirtan, then all night and tomorrow till the beginning of the festival program.
Nice. Mm-hmm.
So with your blessings and
We have enough kirtaniers for that?
we are filling up. It's a
Good.
process, but we'll try our best to please the Lord.
Sleeping is another form of death. Yeah, it is. I'm serious. So if you miss sleeping for one day,
It's the best day in the year or the creation
I'm going to try
to invest in this day.
I'm going to try to drag this whole body and see what I can do.
Rio!
I don't know. See what I can do. I don't know. But you should also have prasadam through the night too. You can't just have kirtan. You got to have prasadam.
That's the key formula.
You have to have devotees get a little tired. And they can have a little little prasadam, then they get back in. Yeah. Lord Chaitanya said, you chant and dance. You get a little tired. You take a little break. Take some prasadam, then you jump back into chant and dance again. We don't need any break. We just need a little prasadam. So you can have some...
Yeah, for today, but tomorrow is fasting day. What to do?
Well, fasting starts at sunrise. Right?
Yeah.
The day begins at sunrise, not at 12 o'clock night.
Yeah.
You don't have enough cooks, right?
No.
No, you
How you feel?
keep pizza all night for the devotees.
Yeah. Real.
And we're Shasha. He'll sponsor it. So yeah, or you have some refreshments, maybe some juice or some tea, and devotees can get re-energized, and then they can go back into kirtan. But they don't. It's not like you have a feast. You just take a little something to get some shakti, and then you go back.
Real.
Is that okay?
Great.
Okay, there you go. Confirmed. Witnessed by Mahaprabhu. Okay, thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai. His Holiness Candramauli Swami Maharaj ki Jai.
Don't go to sleep all day so you can stay up at night. That's not the idea either.
Well, they confirm me that you have 10:15.
I know that, yes.
You need should I arrange a ride for you?
I got it. It's already arranged.
Breakfast is ready on your table, so.
So what is your sickness?
No, he didn't. You can speak with him now when you see him.
I won't speak to him about you. You have to speak. He won't talk about you to me. That's not his business.
It's about the problem, nerve system, digestion system, gases, lots of gases, and then it makes me hard to focus. this is what actually the general.
Give you some medicine for the gas?
Yeah, but because I'm always stressful, it doesn't, you know, it always comes back, all these things.
You know, you want a brahmachari life, it's difficult. You force